The debut of Rogue, G2, Fnatic, Gale Force, and Fantasy is back, and it has some new features. Week 2 of League Play starts off with a bang, and this is looking forward. Welcome back to Week 2 of Looking Forward, where we give you a quick look into what you missed and what to expect for RLCS in the coming week. Last week we covered a whole bunch of matches, but now that League Play is back, I hope to keep this short and sweet while also giving you some advice on your fantasy teams. The big match in North America was the third series of the day between Ghost Gaming and Energy. It went the distance and gave us a hint of what Matt and Justin are truly capable of and what they can bring to their new rosters. Definitely a must watch, and I'm excited to see how they, as well as Ignite plus Yukio, do for their new rosters. Last match of the day in Europe was an interesting one, to say the least. Complexity and Vitality also went the distance, but for totally different reasons. It was a nail-biter that came down to a bunch of overtimes and individual plays, and Fairy Peak hasn't really skipped a beat since his World Championship performance back in November. Best player in the world status as his consistency continues to shine over everybody else he comes across. In our second week of League Play, implications to stay in the top 6 to avoid relegation are already at a high. Matt playing his old roster to start off the day, but for me the match to watch is between G2 and Evil Geniuses. Evil Geniuses went 2-0 in the first week against teams we expect to be in the bottom 2. This will be their first true test against one of the powerhouse teams we consider a top 3 alongside Energy and Cloud9. Chronovia recently moved but has 100 hours logged in the last 2 weeks, so he should still be on point. Curious to see if the G2 team that we see is the same one that we saw this offseason that dominated and played extremely well at E-League and had a stellar performance at DreamHack Leipzig. Across the pond in the fourth series of the day, PSG takes on Vitality. PSG dropped an unexpected match against Excel, who played pretty well but still has a bunch of glaring mistakes and are looking to bounce back. I consider Vitality a team that should obtain a bye into LAN at the end of the season. Curious to see if PSG can play up to that competition. I also wonder how many crossbars Freaky is going to hit this week, as he dominated the crossbar all day long. Now, I will say both EU and NA overall had really sloppy play, and it was probably one of the more sloppy weeks of RLCS that I've ever seen. Despite that many mistakes making the games exciting to watch, I hope it is just week 1 jitters and we see some top-level Rocket League this weekend. Best player of the week goes out to Gimmick. Despite playing against a solid Ghost team, he ended with 575 points averaged. These points may differ from the ones that you see on your own team due to the position you may have him in, whether it be a attacker, midfielder, defender position. Gimmick is also on a bye this week, so make sure if you do have him to either bench him or swap him out for another player. You do get 2 swaps every single week, so it should be quite easy to make the money work. As for this week, expect the Energy squad to have a field day with CLG. Garrett was their top scorer with Justin close behind. I expect a ton of shots, put either one of them on attacker, and you should be set. CLG has a glaring defense and a bunch of mistakes that they haven't quite figured out yet, despite going back to their Season 3 roster they had with Selphis when they went to the World Championship. In Europe, the same can be said about Vitality going up against Excel. Even though Excel had a surprising win against PSG in Week 1, I don't foresee that happening against a dominating team in Team Vitality. If you haven't picked him up for your roster already, make sure you pick up Fairy Peak, as he is a fantastic addition for whatever roster you are looking to run with. This information can be easily found on RocketLeagueEsports.com, but looking under Week 2, Cloud9 and Out of Style will have a bye for North America, and Envy and Complexity will be sitting out for Europe. Make sure you get those trades in so you don't have 0 points accumulated. I think Magnus is going to be a perfect switch for JNaps, as he is not playing and they're the exact same price. JNaps is one of those players that you can put in any role, but usually attacker is the way to go simply because of the amount of points you can get for it. He's also going to be a stellar scorer, I assume, so why change anything now? Usually when making my picks, there's 2 things I consider for swapping. Number 1 is going into the player leaderboard and seeing who did the best. Based upon these points, what players are going to be playing as well by using that standings page I just showed you to kind of determine what's going on. The other thing you should pay attention to during the schedule is who are they playing? Do you think they have a strong matchup? Is there something that you think this team is going to do that's going to give them an overwhelming chance in regards to their matchup? That's stuff that you guys can leave comments below, and I will do my best to answer if you do have questions about what I think regarding certain players. What's your guys' favorite match for the weekend? How do you think Classics is going to do against his old team? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, make sure you follow all the appropriate social media channels listed in the description to stay up to date. And as well, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you enjoy the content. The action starts up again at 12 p.m. Pacific Saturday for North America and 9 a.m. Pacific for Europe on Sunday. But that does it for this week. I can't wait for another RLCS action. I'll be there commentating as usual, so I hope you guys all stop by and show your support. But until next time, I am Lawler, and this has been Looking Forward.